Welcome to Science to Sleep. Tonight, we are leaving the modern world behind. We are traveling back 66 million years to the age of the giants. Dinosaurs lived on Earth for about 165 million years. This is a vast ocean of time. To understand how long this is, imagine a clock. If the Earth starts at midnight, humans only operate at 1 minute before the next midnight. The dinosaurs owned the world for hours and hours of that time. Everything was slow, steady, and ancient. Not all dinosaurs lived at the same time. The Tyrannosaurus rex lived closer in time to us today than it did to the Stegosaurus. There is an 80 million year gap between them. History is like layers of soft dust, piled on one top of the other, in the silence of the earth. The Argentinosaurus was so heavy that it weighed as much as 15 African elephants. Its footsteps were not fast. They were slow, heavy thumps that could be felt through the ground like a deep, low-frequency vibration. Imagine feeling that heartbeat of the earth while you lie perfectly still. Many dinosaurs had hollow bones, much like the birds we see today. These bones were filled with air sacs. This made their massive bodies surprisingly light and efficient. They moved through the world like giant, breathing vessels, light as a feather despite their size. The smallest dinosaurs ever discovered is the bee hummingbird dinosaur, which is still alive today in the form of birds. But in the ancient past, the Microraptor was only about the size of a crow. Imagine a tiny, feathered creature resting on a giant fern leaf, swaying slowly in a prehistoric wind. Dinosaurs didn't just live in tropical jungles. Their fossils have been found in the cold regions of Alaska and Antarctica. Of course, back then, these places were warmer, but they still had long, dark winters. Imagine a dinosaur watching the first frost under a sky full of stars that no human had ever seen. The brain of a Stegosaurus was only about the size of a walnut. Its weight only 80 grams. Its life was very simple. It did not have complex thoughts or worries. Its world was only the taste of green plants and the feeling of the morning sun on its back. A simple, quiet existence. Some dinosaurs had more than 1,000 teeth. As soon as one tooth fell out, another one grew in its place. They never ran out of teeth to chew their soft, green food. It was a constant, slow cycle of renewal, like the waves of the ocean hitting the sand. Dinosaur eggs came in all colors. Some were blue, green, like an emu's egg, and others were speckled to hide in the dirt. Inside two squash shells, a new life was waiting. sleeping in the warmth of their nest, just like you are resting now, in the perfect stillness of the night. Brachiosaurus had a neck that was about 30 feet long. It functioned like a natural crane, allowing the dinosaur to reach the highest, softest leaves of ancient trees. Imagine its heart, a powerful, slow engine, pumping blood all the way up that long, graceful neck. It moved with the slow rhythm of a giant tree swaying in the wind. Some dinosaurs, like the Hadrosaurus, had over 1,400 teeth arranged in dental patterns. When they chewed, their upper jaw would slide outward to grip the tough plants. It was a slow, mechanical process, like the steady ticking of an old grandfather clock, grinding every time, leaf by leaf. The Spinosaurus was the first dinosaur discovered that was a semi-aquatic swimmer. It had a massive sail on its back, made of skin and foam. Imagine it drifting in a wide, ancient river, the cool water supporting its heavy body, floating weightless, while the sun warmed its sail, pure, aquatic peace. Most dinosaurs were actually warm-blooded, or somewhere in between cold and warm-blooded. This means they were active and could grow very fast. They had internal heaters, keeping them cozy and when the night air turned cool. Imagine that warmth inside them, a steady, glowing ember in the dark forest. The Pachycephalosaurus had a skull that was 10 inches thick. It was like wearing a permanent, heavy helmet of solid bone. This dinosaur was protected and secure. It didn't have to worry about the world outside. Its mind was safe inside a thick, white fortress of bone. Fossilized dinosaur footprints are called agnites. Some of these footprints are so clear that you can see the texture of the dinosaur's skin from millions of years ago. A moment in time, frozen forever in the mud. Imagine stepping into one of those tracks and feeling the connection to a world that is now silent and still. The Ankylosaurus had a club at the end of its tail made of fused bone. It was heavy and strong, but most of the time, the tail just rested on the ground, motionless, for hours and hours. It was a heavy anchor, holding the giant safely to the earth. Many dinosaurs traveled in massive herds, sometimes with thousands of individuals. They followed the same paths for generations. Imagine the sound of thousands of heavy feet walking across a dry plain. A deep, low rumble, like distant thunder that never ends, just echoes then, shooting vibration. Some dinosaurs had skin that was covered in small, bony plates called astroderms. These were like tiny pieces of armor embedded in their skin. It made them feel like living stones, ancient and unbreakable. They were part of the earth, and the earth was part of them. Coprolites, fossilized dinosaur droppings. While it sounds funny, They are very important to science. They tell us exactly what the dinosaurs ate millions of years ago. It shows us the simple cycle of life: eating, resting, and returning to the earth. Everything in nature is recycled. Everything is part of long, slow circle. Dinosaurs did not have vocal cords like mammals. Instead, they likely had a syrinx similar to birds, or used their large nasal passages to make sound. This means they did not roar. They hissed, cooed, or made incredibly low-frequency booms. Imagine a sound so deep it vibrates the air without making a noise. A silent sound that vibrates through your pillow and into your dreams. The Dinosaurs Rex had eyes the size of grapefruits. They were some of the largest eyes ever to exist on land. This gave them incredible depth perception, even in the dim light of dusk. Imagine those large, golden eyes slowly closing as the giant predator settles down into cool furs for a long night of rest. Even the king of dinosaurs needs to sleep. Some dinosaurs were covered in a type of soft, hair-like fuzz called proto-feathers. This wasn't for flying, but for staying warm. Imagine a world where even the most fearsome creatures were covered in a soft, down coat, making them look like giant, breathing blankets resting in the moonlight. Everything feels softer and warmer. A dinosaur's life was measured in growth rates inside their bones, much like the rings of a tree. Each year, as they grew, a new layer of bone was added during the quiet winters. Their bodies were living calendars, recording years and years of slow, steady life. There is no rush, only the slow passing of seasons. The Dinosaurs had arms that were 8 feet long, ending in massive claws. For a long time, we only had the arms, and it was a great mystery. It turns out, this giant was a slow-moving, peaceful creature that used its claws to dig for plants in the mud. Sometimes, the things we fear are actually the most peaceful of all. Dinosaurs lived through a period of Earth's history where there were no polar ice caps. The entire planet was a warm, humid greenhouse. The air was thick and moist, like the air after a summer rain. Imagine breathing in that heavy, wet air. It's easy to breathe, and it makes your body feel heavy and relaxed. The iguanodon had a unique thumb spike that was once mistaken for a horn on its nose. It used the spike to break open tough seeds and fruits. It was a slow, deliberate eater, taking its time with every bite. There is no hurry in the forest. There is always enough, and there is always time. Not all prehistoric monsters were dinosaurs. The plesiosaurus in the sea and the pterosaurus in the sky were different branches of the family tree, but they all shared the same ancient world. a world that operated on a much slower clock than ours, a clock that ticked in centuries, not seconds. Many dinosaurs had gastrolets or stomach stones. These were smooth, polished rocks they swallowed to help grind food. Over time, these stones become as smooth as glass inside the dinosaur's body. Imagine the gentle clicking of smooth river stones deep inside a sleeping giant, a rhythmic, shooting sounds that lull the whole forest to sleep. Some of the largest dinosaurs, like the sauropods, had a second nose center near their hips. For a long time, people thought this was a second brain. While it wasn't exactly a brain, it helped control their massive back legs and heavy tails. Imagine having a body so large and so peaceful that your nerves need a special place just to rest and process the world. It's like a second heart of calm, deep inside your body, keeping everything in perfect balance. The Parasaurolophus had a hollow crest on its head that was over 6 feet long. Scientists have used computers to recreate the sound of mate, and it sounds like a deep, vibrating drum, almost like a Tibetan singing bowl or a low cello note. Imagine the sound echoing through a foggy valley at dawn. It's a sound that doesn't wake you up. It's a sound that wraps around you like a warm mist, telling you that the world is safe and that it's time to let go of the day. Dinosaurs lived through the Mesozoic era, which lasted for 180 million years. To put that in perspective, if you walked one step for every year they existed, you would walk around the entire Earth 4 times. That is a lot of walking and a lot of quiet sunny days. Imagine those millions of years as a long, golden afternoon that never ends. There is no tomorrow to worry about, only this vast, eternal moment of sun and green leaves. Stegosaurus had tiny, pebble-like bones under its neck called throat armor. This protected its softest part while it was eating. It was completely tucked in, protected by nature itself. Imagine feeling that kind of protection, as if you are wearing a suit made of the earth so strange. You are shielded from every noise, every light, and every thought. You are simply part of the quiet ground. We often thinking of dinosaurs as green or brown, but new science shows they had patterns like stripes and spots. Some even had iridescent feathers that shined like a crow's wing or a soup bubble. Imagine a giant dinosaur slowly walking through the shadows, and as a tiny bit of moonlight hits its back, it glows with a soft purple and blue light. It's like watching a living galaxy move slowly through the trees, beautiful, silent, and mesmerizing. The Triceratops had a massive frill made of solid bone, but it was also covered in blood vessels to help it cool down. It was a giant radiator for its body. Imagine the heat of the day slowly leaving the dinosaur's body through this bone, like steam rising from a cup of tea. Feel your own warmth now, slowly spreading from your chest to your arms and your legs as your body finds its perfect, cool temperatures for sleep. Many dinosaurs used communal nesting grounds, meaning hundreds of mothers would gather in one quiet place to lay their eggs. It was a place of total peace and cooperation. Imagine a giant, sandy beach filled with the sound of thousands of hearts beating quietly together. No one is a stranger here. Everyone is part of the same big family, resting together under the same ancient moon. The Carnotaurus had very tiny arms, even smaller than a T-Rex. They were almost useless for hunting, but they might have been used for social displays. It reminds us that even the most powerful creatures had parts of them that were small and delicate. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to let go of your strength. In the world of sleep, there is no need for power, only for the softness of the breath. The Earth's rotation was faster in the time of the dinosaurs. A day was only about 22 or 23 hours long. The world was spinning just a little bit faster, but the life upon it was much slower. It is a strange thought. The world moving fast while the giants moved in slow motion. Imagine the stars racing across the sky above you, while we remain perfectly still, like a heavy stone at the bottom of a clear, quiet river. When a dinosaur died in a river, its body would often to be covered in a fine silt and mud very quickly. This is why we have such perfect fossils today. It was like the earth was reaching out to tuck them in, to preserve them in a long stone hug. Think of your blankets now as a soft, protective layer. You are being held by the bed, just as the earth held the giants, keeping them safe for millions of years. The Diplodocus had a tail that was so long it consisted of about 80 vertebrae. It was alive, giant, muscular, with that moved with incredible grace. Scientists believed they could use these tails to communicate with each other over long distances by making low-pitched sounds. Imagine a group of these giants standing in a foggy marsh, their long tails swaying in perfect unison like a slow, hypnotic dance. Each movement is a message of peace, a slow wave goodbye to the setting sun. Some dinosaurs had nasal glands, which were hollow chambers in their snouts that acted like resonance chambers. When they breathed, the air would circulate through these chambers, warming up before it reached their lungs. Imagine the sounds of that breath, a deep, hollow echo inside a massive chest. like the sound of distant wind blowing through an empty sea cave. It is the sound of total relaxation, the sounds of a body that is perfectly at home in the world. Dinosaurs lived through three distinct time periods: the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. During these millions of years, the continents themselves were slowly drifting apart. The land beneath their feet was moving at the same speed that your fingernails grow. It is a movement so slow that it's impossible to feel, yet it changed the entire face of the planet. Just like that, your body is slowly drifting into a deeper state of rest, millimeter by millimeter, moving toward the continent of dreams. The Tyrannosaurus had the longest claws of any animal in history, reaching up 3 feet in length. They looked like a giant scythe, but despite this frightening claws, this dinosaur was a gentle giant that used them only to pull down high tree branches to reach the softest leaves. It reminds us that appearance is not everything. Beneath the sharpest exterior, there can be a heart of pure gentleness, a spirit that only wants to find a quiet place to eat and rest in shade of the ancient pines. Saproliths, or fossilized dinosaurs' droppings, can sometimes contain the remains of ancient flowers and seeds. This tells us that even the smallest, most delicious things lie alongside the greatest giants. Imagine a massive T-Rex walking past a tiny, pale flower, and for a moment, the two worlds meet. The giant does not crush the flower, it simply passes by in the silence. The world is big enough for everyone, and tonight, the world is small enough just for you and your rest. The Argentinosaurus was so large that its heart had to be the size of a small car just to pump blood into its brain. That heart beat very, very slowly, perhaps only 5 or 6 times a minute. Imagine that rhythm. Thump, thump, is a rhythm that ignores the rush of the modern world. It is the rhythm of the mountains, the rhythm of the deep ocean, and now it is the rhythm of your own heart as you sink deeper into your bed. Some dinosaurs, like the Hypsilophodon, had 5 fingers on their hands, much like we do. They could use these hands to grasp small branches or move leaves aside. Imagine those small, ancient hands resting in the soft moss as the dinosaur settles down for a nap. They have finished their work for the day. They have no more to hold on to. Just like you can let go of everything now. Your hands are heavy, your arms are still. The sky of the Cretaceous period was not just filled with flying reptiles, but also with ancient insects. Dragonflies the size of owls, fled through the heavy oxygen-rich air. Their wings made a soft, electric hum that filled the forest. It was constant, white noise, low, a buzz that told the dinosaurs everything was as it should be. Imagine that hum in the distance now, a soft, steady vibration that helps clear your mind of any last thoughts. Modern birds are so closely related to dinosaurs that scientists now classify them as avian dinosaurs. This means that when you hear a bird chirping in the morning, you are hearing the voice of an ancient survivor. The dinosaurs never truly disappeared. They just changed their shape to fly. Life is a continuous stream. It never really stops. It just finds new, quieter ways to exist. And tonight, your existence is quiet, peaceful, and light. And our final fact is about the great connection. Every atom in your body was once part of the world that the dinosaurs walked upon. You are made of the same stardust, the same earth, and the same water that sustained the giants. You are part of this 165 million year story, and just as the dinosaurs eventually found their place in the deep, quiet layers of the earth, it is now your time to find your place in the deep, quiet layers of sleep. And that brings us to the end of our facts, and the beginning of the great transition. The world of the giants is fading, and the snow is beginning to fall. Stay with me as we witness the final, beautiful rest of ancient world.